1. So we're just doing another sample question. Remember, I'm going to have 20 posted online. You'll have the questions, you'll have the YouTube videos showing you how I do things. So before you do any tests, make sure you go through every one of these sample questions, then take the test. So here we have another one, factor completely. Because it says factor completely, we're going to go through first step, is there a GCF? Remember, anytime it says factor completely, that's always your first step, GCF. I don't want you to say, oh yeah, I can do arch, or oh yeah, I can do shortcut. Nope, always look to see if you can do GCF first. So for this guy, there is a GCF. How do I know there's a GCF? Remember, go through A through D. Do we have matching parentheses? No. Do we have the same letter? No, they all have letters, but not the same. 2 of them have Y, 2 of them have X, but not all 3. But I know that they all have the same number. How do I know that? Because you know that any number that ends in 0 or 5, you can divide by 5. That means there's a GCF of 5. You have to factor out the GCF first. If you skip this important step, some of you are going right into arch. Notice 45 times 20, that's 900. Try to do all the combos of 900. It's possible, but it'll take you some time. If you take out the GCF, you'll see when I do arch, it's going to be much smaller than 900. So let's divide each term by 5. That's the only GCF because it doesn't start with a negative. So when we divide out, the leftovers would be 4x squared plus 12xy plus 9y squared. Now remember, it's not just factor out the GCF, it's factor completely. So once you take out the GCF, look at your leftovers, see if that can factor out further. Because it has one, two, 3 terms, we are going to do the arch method. So we're going to do 4 times 9. Why arch? Because there's a leading number in front. So we're going to multiply. And notice I get a 36. That is much better than doing all the combos of 900. So we get 1 and 36, we get 2 and 18, you get 3 and 12, you get 4 and 9, and 6 and 6. We know that once we get our combos list, so we got our step 1 and our step 2, we gotta figure out, we're gonna have to add the list, so step 3. We're gonna then do step 4, choose a combo. How you choose a combo? Well, remember, one of these totals should match the middle coefficient. Since that's a 12 and that's a 12, we got a winner. So once we choose a combo, step 4, split is step 5. Remember, 6 and 6 are the new coefficients. 12 is gone. But bring down the variable part to both. Don't bring half and half. That has to be mirror images. So if the variable part is xy, this is xy, this is xy. Once you have that, then we said step 6, we're going to have to figure out signs. Because this is a plus, that tells us the same signs. Now notice that they're the same numbers here. When they're the same numbers, both of them will get the same sign as the middle. Makes sense. Plus 6 would have given us that plus 12. Then step 7, bring down the first term, 4x squared. Bring down the last term, positive 9y squared. Now because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, we are done with the arch. Arch does not do factoring. All it does is stretches it to 4 terms. When you get to 4 terms, that's where you actually do the factoring. We are going to do this as the grouping method. So grouping method, parentheses around the first 2 terms, parentheses around the last 2 terms, the signs included in the second set of parentheses. Here we can take out a GCF. You know you can take out a 2x. So when you divide each by 2x, you get leftover 2x plus 3y. Remember, x and x cancel out, but you still have a y here, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Here, oh, they both have a letter, y, and a 3. So you're going to take out a 3y, but bring down the sign as a plus. So when you divide both of these by 3y, we're going to have 2x plus 3y. Remember, this and this must match. Once you have that matching, then we said these become one set of parentheses, 2x plus 3y. And then our leftovers, 2x plus 3y, will make up the other set of parentheses. And this is not your final answer. You had a GCF. So make sure you bring down the GCF. So your final answer is the 5, the parentheses 2x plus 3y, and the second set of parentheses of 2x plus 3y. Now sometimes you can write this as 1 and put a little square here, because if you put a square, that means you have 2 of the same parentheses. But for me, I just write them out as 2 separate ones and then the GCF in front.